Hello, everybody. My name is Corey. Welcome to the weekly Tall Talk. We're very excited to have you here. If you're new to the show, we typically have a topic that sets up our show that is a short story or a would you rather. And today we don't have a short story, so we're just going to jump into the would you rather. But before we can do that, I have to introduce my two co-hosts today. Tyler, how you doing today, brother?
Doing really well. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
It's starting to heat up over here. I don't know if you're feeling it, Corey, but I am. Sizzling.
I'm getting toasty, yeah.
Yeah. It's no joke. Yeah. Especially working in the truck that I do in my job. It's there's no escape. But we must endure, we must conquer, and yeah. James, I see you over there. Welcome back, brother. How you doing?
Doing all right. It's getting hot up here in Las Vegas as well.
Worse.
We've had an unusually cool summer. It's only now getting into like the 90s. Normally we're in the triple digits by a good long point by now. So I've been thankful for that, but now it's over.
Yeah, well, hopefully you got some air conditioning, something to keep you cool in there.
Oh, thank God I do.
That's a little rough.
And how are you doing, Corey?
I'm doing great, man. It's been another lovely day. Like Tyler said, I'm kind of heating up over here in the California sun. I'm still used to that Oregon weather.
Yeah.
I've chosen to not go outside as much because for some reason Oregon made it so I do nothing but burn every time the sun hits my skin. The Mexican side of me is not happy about it.
He's not having it.
No. But that's okay. We wrote a very special script. James, you helped me write this one. Tyler, you definitely had input, so I'm pretty excited. This one is going to be a little bit of a different topic than we normally do.
Ooh.
And I think it'll be fun. We're going to be asking questions about high fashion. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, I couldn't be more ready.
Let's go.
Let's get into it.
Can't be more, James. Couldn't
be
it's
more.
It's not possible.
Use the maximum amount of ready.
Throw it at us, Corey.
All right.
We're ready.
For today's Would You Rather, would you rather, for the rest of your life, only be able to wear the same outfit every day or have one hairstyle chosen for you that you can never change? Jimmy, what do you think? We're gonna put you in the hot seat, man.
Ooh, the hot seat.
Oh, damn.
I see you just got that fresh haircut.
Oh,
is that the one
yeah.
you're rocking for the rest of your life?
Oh, I'm committing to the mullet, man. Hardcore. I'm bringing it back. I would definitely choose committing to one hairstyle over one outfit for the rest of my life. Only because I change my hair maybe once a decade.
Yeah.
I've had long hair for a very long time. Before that, it was pretty much the same cut for like 5 years. So like, I don't change my hair very much.
Was it hard to let go?
I was ready.
You're ready.
I was ready. I've been building up to it emotionally for I think a couple years because I knew once I got rid of the long hair,
not gonna do it again.
It was never coming back.
Dude,
no.
I literally went through the same thing. We just cut my hair for the show. That'll be coming out a little bit later. We filmed that, but mine was down to the small of my back or so.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm never doing this again. I'm really, really happy that I did, but never again.
Yeah. Hours are so great now.
Yeah, dude, they're so quick.
5 minutes in and out.
It's a brand new feeling. But so what if the haircut was you have to wear long hair for the rest of your life?
I think I'd still rather commit to that than one outfit. Because, I mean, again, I've only lived in deserts my whole life. Sure. Either California, Texas, or now Nevada, where it gets hot as shit. And then in the winters, it can get a little chilly, especially at night. And I don't want to commit to shorts and then be freezing my butt off for about 3 months. And yeah, most of my life, like my hair, I've pretty much been committed. And I know this is probably the same for you, Corey. My outfits have always been pretty much consistently jeans, either blue or black. Yep. That's it. And a metal band t-shirt.
It was coming.
Been all I've ever worn.
Oh, that's so funny. That's in my show notes in the script.
The standard,
like at the very bottom that nobody read. It's like, I only wear the same shit. What do I do?
You guys were on the same wavelength for that one.
In the last, and in the last 3 or 4 years, I'm branching out.
Yeah.
I'm getting more colors added. I'm trying to explore. So I'm finally exploring my fashion side.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel more into changing that than my hair.
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing more button ups with a lot more color in them.
I'm going full white boy summer.
There it is.
And not Chet Hanks' white boy summer.
Wait, the racist one?
Not that one.
Okay.
I'm making my own. I'm taking it back.
Okay.
I'm taking back the mullet and white boy summer.
Oh man, I forgot how hard you committed with that mullet. Shit. We got to get you some like all the way around blind people glasses.
Oh,
Would be the next Theo Vaughn.
yeah. Shoot.
All right, Tyler, we're going to toss it to you, man. What do you think? Are you wearing the same outfit every day, or are you never changing your haircut, even if you look like Kim Jong-un?
Oh, man. So the same outfit, do we get to choose it or is it chosen for us?
I get to choose it.
You get to choose it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's worse.
Should I trust you or I don't know?
I wouldn't. I would never trust me. No. After everything we've been through over the last year, would you trust me?
Yeah, probably not. Just kidding. Jokes aside, wearing the same outfit every day, that'd be like kind of torture in a way.
Don't you kind of do that for work, though?
Because I have to, Corey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because as soon as I get home, I get to wear whatever I want. Just during the day, I can't.
That's
do
true.
That. Yeah. So
yeah,
I think I'm gonna be risky. I'm gonna go with the latter, the hairstyle chosen for me that you can never change. So you better not screw me up on this one because I'll come for you.
No. I mean, James, he has to rock the long hair again. But I think we're just gonna go with a straight mohawk.
Ooh.
Yeah, but like even you're gonna be like an 80-year-old with a mohawk, though.
I respect it.
Right?
And is it gonna be colored
So
or is it gonna just be like grays?
And then it's just got like
yeah, it's starting to like recede and get all sad.
Yeah, what happens if he gets the Jean-Luc Picard hair and then so it's just like a mohawk in the back tail?
Oh my god,
mohawk skullet. It's just a little landing strip in the back of your head.
Hey, I mean, I'd be like, I haven't seen it in person. Have you guys? I'd be the first one. I'd rock it.
That's true.
That's true.
You could start something.
Trendsetter.
Mohawk for the rest of my life.
You're gonna be the coolest person in the old folks' home.
I wanted to try it like once in my life, but I don't know. I'm too scared in a way.
Bro, we got clippers in my place. Come on over.
Let's go right now.
You just helped me cut my hair.
Right?
I think we can do yours too.
Return the favor. Oh, you didn't say go bald, so that, I mean that's good.
No. But if you do go bald, you got to wear a wig. So
I think I'd rather.
You don't get that option.
I think yeah. If I did go bald, imagine, if you had a wig, you could have any hairstyle you wanted.
No, but the wig would be the same hairstyle.
Oh, damn it. Why you got to make this hard on me?
So you would have a wig, you would have a skull cap with a mohawk on it.
He's got like 7 different ones, one for each day, but they're all exactly the same.
Exactly.
You'd have to get like the same skin tone, or you'd have to put makeup to like match your. That's too much work, man.
Hey, this is the life you chose. I'm sorry you can't take it back. I don't know what to tell you.
Darn it.
Mohawks are a commitment, man.
Yeah, it's true.
Even until you don't need a wig, like you're putting Elmer's glue in there every day.
Yeah,
I'm assuming we're doing like a big ass.
Mohawk, is it like?
Oh, you want like Liberty spikes, like all the way up?
Ooh.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, I could do Liberty spikes. I was thinking just like the little Turok strip. But
oh, okay.
But no, Liberty.
See,
that I think that would be a little bit easier to rock. I think the fact that he brought up like the big spikes, we got to go that route, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like, we can't.
Because I mean, he can still get a job with the Turok. Like Liberty spikes, 80% of the workforce is out.
In fact, I think he would be offered so many jobs by security and police positions that like he would be set for life.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna stick with my decision, and the hairstyle has chosen me.
Okay.
Going for the mohawk. But what I want to hear from now is Corey, his decision.
Okay. Well, I think I want to agree with you guys on the hair thing, but with having long hair for 20 years now and worrying that somebody else is going to pick that for me like I did James, I wouldn't want to fall down that rabbit hole. Like James mentioned before, I basically wear the same thing every single day in my life anyways.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go with that. I think like if I'm going to have that Steve Jobs uniform, black turtleneck, blue jeans and sandals, I could probably be okay with that for the rest of my life.
Okay.
Yeah. Or even like in like just like a onesie jumper or something.
Wait, so are you wearing this outfit at all times of the day, even night? Like you wear it to bed as well?
Yeah, I think I'd have to be a never nude. Only taking it off for like when you can shower.
Yeah.
It's like prison. You get 5 minutes a day to be out of your clothing.
Like James said, like what if you're just like in a turtleneck? You said Steve Jobs, or did you say Steve Jobs?
Yeah.
Yeah, just imagine because he wore what, like a turtleneck
Black turtleneck. That was his quote unquote uniform. And then Elizabeth Holmes followed suit for a while before she got arrested.
I just think that would be irritating after a while, wearing a turtleneck 24/7. Well, besides, yeah.
If you're trying to sleep and you still got it on.
Yeah.
Just like scratching.
Oh my God. I always feel like you're being, what's that joke by Mitch Hedberg? It's like you're always being strangled by a really weak guy.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Although there's something to be said for the turtleneck. It's pretty,
One for the clothing.
but the turtleneck's pretty, like, you can wear it to almost anything, right? You can wear it to the club.
Right.
You just kind of fit in. You can wear it at business. You know, like, turtleneck fits in most places.
Well, that's what I was thinking is like, how awkward is it going to make funerals? Like, if you show up in a turtleneck, is it a faux pas?
Can you put a sports coat over it?
No, I think it would
Or is
have to
that
just be,
changing
yeah, you could. I don't think I'd be able to change it up at all. If I'm
Okay,
constrained to my own rules.
Right.
Yeah, what are some other
Yeah.
situations
Then
that
again,
if you had to wear the same thing, it would just be awkward? Trying to think.
I mean, pool parties are out of the question now. You're not going to the beach. Beach days are over.
Yeah, that would kind of, well, I'd be okay with like not going to the beach, but I mean, pool parties would be hard because that's the only party there is in Southern California.
It's true. Though, yeah, it would make life in SoCal hard.
I guess you could never really celebrate Halloween in a way. Well, the part where you dress up.
Unless I'm dressing as Steve Jobs for Halloween.
Every year. It never gets
Jobs.
Yeah.
You could be Archer. You could
tactical
be
turtleneck.
Yeah. Spat it.
Yeah.
That I got.
Huh.
You know what? I mean, shit, James, you say that. I've literally worn the same Halloween costume every year for a decade too.
That's
Like,
also true.
It's not
You and
out
Willie.
of the realm.
Oh, that's good.
I think I've gone. I have like a prison convict jumpsuit that I bought when I was like 15.
Oh,
I
really?
haven't stopped wearing it. Yeah,
Okay.
it's like 2 sizes too small, so I have to hunch.
That makes it creepier.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Quick question: do you guys think that if you had to decide the same decision for everybody on planet Earth, you would make the same choice? If everybody on Earth had to either have the same haircut or dress all the same, which do you think you would choose? Because me, I'm going with the haircut. I'm saying straight up bowl cut. Every single person.
Every single person.
Everyone.
So it's not like each person is stuck with one uniform that they can choose, or like everybody's wearing the same thing.
That's right. Y'all, because like when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about Star Trek, how they all have to wear the same fucking unitard. It's like that would suck every day of your life.
Yeah.
But like everybody on the ship's got to wear that.
Especially knowing how uncomfortable they were behind the scenes now.
Mm-hmm. The card maneuver, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone with a mohawk. That's a lot of gel, man. We got to make up for that.
Oh no, they if it was hair, I think everybody would have to have a bowl cut. It'd be a lot easier.
Oh, okay.
James, what do you think? Could you make what would your decision be for the entire planet?
Still making everybody have the same hair. I can't. Like everybody wearing the same clothes. That's too like dystopian future. Like evil dictatorship determining everybody's wearing a gray jumper. That'd give me a panic attack.
Yeah, it's a little.
Not that I want to see everyone in a bowl cut either, but
at least that would be funny.
Okay, let me ask this.
Exactly, it's a comedy level.
We have the same haircut, but are we allowed to change the color of it?
You know what? I didn't plan for that. Why not? I'll give you that.
We can dye it.
It's called a give you.
If that's the case, then I'll choose the hair because at least you get to change the color. It might all be the same style, but it'll be different in a little way.
Right.
I'm up for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. There's a little bit of individuality with that choice.
Exactly.
Well, I think if I was going to make that choice, I would probably choose to listen to these ads instead.
Hello there, my name is Cale Miller, creator and host of the Weekly Tall Talk. I would like to say thank you for listening to today's episode. If you like what you've been hearing, we would love to know what you think. After the episode, don't forget to leave a comment or reach out to us on our socials, where you can find us at the Weekly Tall Talk. We're excited to say that we're working on a couple other awesome projects for this year. If you would like to know more about that, or to find out what else we've been working on, we have a Patreon and Discord that you can subscribe to, where we can be found at Tall Tale Network. If you have any other questions or ideas of what you'd like us to discuss on the show, please email us at talltalenetwork@gmail.com.
And we're back from those ads. I hope you enjoyed them because we made them. But I got another question for you guys. And this one's a little bit of a thinker. Again, this isn't necessarily a topic that we do all the time. So I tried my best and I hope you guys enjoy it. Why do you guys think that we assign gender roles to clothing and jewelry? And what purpose, if any, does it continue to serve?
It's a really good question. That is
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's a real thinker.
Is it necessary to have gender roles in clothing anymore?
I don't think so. I think you should just, whatever you'd like to wear, you should wear that regardless of what anyone thinks, and you do your thing. Doesn't bother me.
Really? Because that's not what you said over the break.
You had some very stern thoughts on this.
I see what you're doing.
I hope the audience does. The audience at home does too, because that's a joke. Tyler's just fine.
Yes,
he didn't say shit about shit.
I have something about. I was looking up something earlier that came to my thoughts about jewelry. I don't know in what part of the world this happens, but there's women, and they put these rings around their necks. Yeah, and I guess the taller it stretches out their neck, but it's a sign of. I think I read something. It's a sign of beauty, but I think it's only in the women that do it. I haven't seen any pictures of men doing it.
Right.
I never got that or how that came to be. It's very interesting, and
yeah, I'm not sure how that tradition came about, but I know what you're talking about. I'm pretty sure they have it in a couple different cultures. I'm pretty sure there's one in Africa and there's another one somewhere in South Asia that still does that.
But I wonder what the thought process was where that came to be, that meant beauty. Like, I'd like to know. I'd like to delve more into it, but I just thought
if you know at home, hit us up, talltalenetwork@gmail.com.
I wonder why it was, because like I said earlier, that it was, there's no pictures of men doing this, but it's assigned to women.
Right.
But
well, I think like to further that too, like a lot of jewelry is assigned more to women than they are men. Like outside of like rings and necklaces, I don't think that you see too many men wearing bangles. We don't wear like toe rings as often. I as far as I see it.
Yeah.
Or even like bright gemstones, really precious like rubies and things like that. We don't really have many of those as far as I don't know how to say it. As far as men go, it feels wrong to say that, but I don't know how else to say it. So for lack of a better term.
I don't know why we assign gender to clothing, like dresses for women and like for men more jean and kind of button up shirts.
Well, even like going to like the dresses thing, because like you can like you can wear skirts as a woman.
Yeah.
But if you wear it as a man, it's not really like a culturally accepted thing or a cultural norm, unless it's a kilt.
Yeah.
Which is okay, but it's not okay if you're not Scottish. So like it doesn't like there's a lot of weird hangups on clothing and how it lays on your body.
Uh-huh.
A lot of it goes back to cultural heritage.
Right.
You know, because like kimonos and stuff, I mean, you could just say that's a dress and that's pretty accepted by men and women, or at least maybe not the kimono, but you know, like those robes that they would wear.
Mm-hmm.
But I only know this from the brief period of time I wanted to be an English teacher, and I took like some English classes for that maybe read a lot of old French and English, like 16th and 17th century stories.
Yeah.
That there was, because like men used to wear powdered wigs, jewelry, all that kind of stuff for a long time over there, and then during the Revolution, all that kind of stuff was abolished, and people were men, because usually men were the ones that were in charge. Besides, the queen and stuff like that, but a lot of them were hunted down and beheaded. So it was like anything that would signify that you were a lord or anything like that, such as wearing wigs, powdering your face, anything like that, you would be hunted down and killed. So it became like, no, don't ever wear that.
Yeah.
So I know there's a connotation of that, but I don't know how far that stretches back to now, or even, across the sea to America. I have no idea.
Yeah. And it's weird because like I think as far as like American ideology goes, it's really prevalent, unfortunately, to look down on French history and French culture as and describe it as more feminine, because of the makeup, because of the tight, like, not pantyhose, but the tight clothing that they had to wear.
Right.
And like one of the things I was actually thinking about while writing this was like a lot of French nobility had ascots, and like ascots have come in and out of favor even until like the 70s, but they've always been denoting kind of masculinity. And like that's a weird article of clothing, because like Fred Jones wears a mascot, but
I was just gonna say, who's more masculine?
Exactly.
More masculine than Fred Jones.
Right. I don't know. I don't really know where that goes, but I think it like assigning a gender to something, an article of clothing, is just such a bizarre idea.
Well, in the I guess it was more accepted in the 80s, with all the hair metal bands, like yeah, it was fine then, like Twisted Sister, Poison, Motley Crue. They always did their hair, and it was very, very feminine like, and everybody accepted it, and that was the thing, and it was more accepted in that time. But as time grew on, we kind of pushed away towards that idea and kind of went against it.
Out of favor for sure.
Yeah. So I wonder what happened.
I feel like artists,
it's really, really strange,
especially musicians, have been playing with gender roles like that. Like, David Bowie, Prince, a lot of them would always do that. And they would get,
and Prince wore an ascot. Hey.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, bring it back.
Right. And even today, like Harry Styles, I don't want to piss anybody off, but I find he makes very mediocre pop music, and I feel like a lot of the reasons that he gets so much attention is just because of how he presents himself. Wearing dresses, some feminine style clothing makes him stand out a little bit more.
Oh, sure. He's definitely leaned into breaking down the more cultural barriers of dress.
Right.
I think high fashion has always done that as well. Just because it has to be avant-garde and new and fresh, and breaking down gender norms would be kind of imperative if you're trying to create something new. But one of the other things I think about, again, and I don't want to make this a comparative of men versus women. I can only speak, however, from my standpoint. And one of the things that I find interesting is the idea of shorts on men, and how in my life, there has been different perceptions on men wearing shorts depending on the length of the shorts.
Really?
And follow with me, right?
Okay.
If your shorts go below the knee, that was like the 90s, 2000 style. You were sometimes considered a gangster, if they were that long.
Yeah.
If they're at your knees, that's like the perfect I'm wearing shorts level.
Okay.
However, if they're cargo shorts, then you get made fun of because they're cargo shorts for some reason. But if they're regular shorts but slightly above the knee, like I don't want it, like those shorts are too short for that man. And it's just like, no, dude, it's hot. Like, what are you talking about?
I think that goes the same with, this might be going a little off topic, but in school, nobody wanted to wear Skechers because it was not cool. I don't know if you guys had that, but
oh yeah, that's the poor white man's shoe, the dad's shoe. Like, you know what I mean? I don't care about shoes, so I get Skechers because they're cheap.
But you never wanted to be seen with Skechers in school. But now it's more acceptable. Like at work now, they make work shoes for my type of job, and I gladly wear them. It doesn't affect me now It mattered more
Right.
when I was younger, and I had it's weird.
Yeah, I wonder because I definitely get that. Like Skechers were they. I hesitate to say this, but they were the quote unquote like poor person shoe. Like, and they're not. They're fine fucking they're
Yeah.
whatever. But like when
Right.
I was growing up, it's like, oh, like your friend in the same grade has Skechers. Like that's a very silly shoe to wear because
You
it's a
were
very silly
uncool.
name.
Yeah.
It had everything to do with the brand and not the shoe.
Right.
Just the title, like, Converse. Okay, that puts you with this group, or
Yeah.
Vans that puts you with this group, and then Skechers. Oh, you don't want to be with the Skechers kids.
No.
They don't care about how they look. They don't care about what they're
Yeah.
wearing.
But
Them with
They,
their
they go
trapper
shopping with their mom
keepers
at
and
Kohl's.
braces and
Yeah.
you nerds wearing your Skechers. Don't add us.
Yeah.
Actually, do add us. Talltailnetwork@gmail.com.
oh, a plug. I love it.
But it seems, I guess the crux of the question is, it seems archaic, no? At this point in our life, especially with where we see current contemporary fashion trends, especially amongst Gen Z, where they're pushing those bounds. And not only are they pushing the bounds of gender conformity via clothing, I think they're also pushing the bounds of it's more acceptable to wear makeup as a man now.
Mhm.
Like wearing lipstick or eyeliner or things like that. Like even we're talking about like James bringing up bands breaking gender norms. Like wearing eyeliner and mascara was like a really big thing since the 70s or so.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, I see way more people in way more common places. Because if you go to like a concert or like a certain bar or something like that, like you might see a dude in makeup or something like that, or a little more feminine dressing. But way more common places during the day, just random times, I'll just see dudes wearing a dress or full makeup or some weird clothing that, I growing up as a kid in the 90s would never wear,
right?
Because I would be made fun of. And it's cool to see, because who really cares at the end of the day?
Yeah, I agree. I really would like to think that millennials were kind of the last group of people where you can't wear that because men don't wear that.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that ideology is kind of dying out, but I don't really know.
Yeah.
There's one short story I wanted to share about it. And when James, you were there in high school with me, and there were many times where I think you as well wore skirts. Like we had friends that offered us skirts, so we wore skirts in school.
Really?
And
I definitely wore a dress. I borrowed my girlfriend's dress one day. My dad got very mad at me.
Oh no!
When I got home, yes. When he found out, he was not happy.
He gave you a talking to and made you smoke a whole pack of smokes.
Not smoke a whole pack of not smoke a whole pack of smokes, but he was very upset.
Yeah.
He was very upset. But I mean, he just came from a different generation. He was scared that I was going to get bullied or, made fun of and just be cast out. Like I think it came from a place of trying to protect me.
Yeah.
He was just from a different era.
Yeah. Yeah. But even that, like, there's always they're of a different time excuse. And while I think that's definitely valid here, it doesn't always hold up to snuff. And I'm glad that, again, that ideology is kind of passing.
Right. Because it was fine for me because I am a cisgendered male. But had I not been, if I did feel like I was, trapped in the wrong body or something like that, I'm not 100% sure how well he'd be able to take it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Shoot.
Yeah, I get that.
And I love my dad. We had a great relationship, but I don't know how well our relationship would have gone had it gone that way.
Do you think if your dad had survived to now, and that is how you wanted to start dressing, that he would have changed his ideology as the times grew? Or do you think that he would have been more stuck in his ways?
I don't know. And that's the thing. My dad was like, he had no problem with gay people. He was a hairdresser. He won a lot of competitions. He was a very good hairdresser for many years. So he had a lot of, very, very, outwardly gay friends. Mm-hmm. So I know that wasn't the big deal. I think if I told him I was gay, I don't think he would care. But I think, if I was a woman trapped in a man's body, I don't think he would have been able to understand that.
Interesting.
At least not right away. It definitely would have put a strain.
Yeah.
I think he loved me enough to maybe at some point get it, or maybe not get it, but at least accept it.
Yeah.
But it would definitely, I don't think it would have been easy for him at all.
Yeah. I get that. And again, just thinking about it now, like, were I to have kids, like, it's just a bizarre thought to me of getting upset over what somebody's wearing. But before we go to break, I want to lead out with one last story. Was in high school, I was in a class, and we had a very, let's say, not conservative, very reserved teacher, maybe conservative. I don't give a fuck. They weren't a very nice person. I was wearing a skirt and a tube top one day, and that teacher left the room as soon as I walked in and was on the phone for like 10 minutes in the back room. And after a few minutes, I got called to the principal's office. I had never been into the principal's office before, never met this person. And I sat down, and the principal said, "You cannot wear the clothing that you're wearing. You have to take off that shirt, the top, and put on something else." And when I asked why, she said, "Because you're too busty." And with that, we'll go to ads.
Hey, it's your boy Mason from Men of Misfortune here. We're a comedy podcast with 3 different segments. We cover anime/pop culture, true crime, and bizarre news, all while taking on some interviews. We drink, we smoke, and we know how to have a good time while making you feel like you're a part of the show. Find us anywhere you get your podcasts. And don't forget to check out our Patreon for bonus content. And for more updates, follow us on Instagram at Men of Misfortune. Remember, stay misfortunate and always listen to Mom. Now, back to your regularly scheduled program.
And we're back.
Welcome back, everyone.
Thanks, man. I didn't know where to go with that, so I appreciate you helping me out.
It's all right.
We got more questions I hope you guys are excited for.
Let's do it.
So this is kind of a personal question, and one that I don't really understand. I just as well, I'll let you know how I feel when I answer. But for you guys, or you folks at home, the majority of time when you buy clothing, do you buy it because of the brand, or do you buy it because of the item itself? Jimmy, you brought up Converse earlier. And like, that's one of the few things where I was like, oh, I need Converse because they're Converse, not because they're good shoes, because they definitely aren't. But they're unique shoes.
Very rarely have ever bought something because of the brand. I would say shoes are like the only ones, and it was really either Nikes, Vans, or Converse.
Okay.
Clothing, like, and again, I think I've never been, I didn't grow up poor or anything, but I definitely didn't have the money to be buying like Gucci or Prada clothing. And again, growing up in the 90s as a guy, I never really felt the pressure to, or felt like maybe I needed to in any way. Whereas maybe if I was a woman, I might feel like I need some sort of name brand handbag or something like that. I've never felt that pressure. But yeah, again, everything to me was pretty much band shirts. It was pretty much how cool was the picture on the shirt. It was all about representing. People needed to know what I was into by looking at me.
Slipknot.
Slipknot, Korn, classic rock,
Limp Bizkit,
or comic books,
System of a Down. Help me out here, Mudvayne.
No, not Mudvayne. I did not have a Limp Bizkit shirt. No, but no. It was all about people needing to know what. So in that respect, so that's not necessarily brands, but
you were selling the brand of who you were wearing.
Exactly. Although I am at a point financially where I'm doing better than I've ever been, and living in Vegas, there's a lot of name brand stores.
Yeah.
It's
And a
all
couple
around
times
you,
I've walked
every
into
corner,
them.
right?
Yeah, everywhere I go. And I walked into a couple of them. There's specifically one I went into because I actually kind of liked what they had. It was called one I never heard of. It's called like Psycho Bunny or something like that.
Okay.
There's symbols like a rabbit head with like a crossbones
Okay.
under it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've seen that logo.
What do they sell?
Pretty much just t-shirts and jeans, so it doesn't look anything too crazy or ridiculous like that. But they're usually just kind of bright neon colors and has the logo on it. And I was like, that's a name brand thing I could wear. And I walked in and I saw like just a t-shirt was like $150, and I was like, no fucking way.
Wow.
So even though I'm still, why I might do it just as like a status symbol thing to be like, hey, I have a nice shirt, but I still can't bring myself to spend that kind of that money on a t-shirt.
Yeah. Dude, that's like fucking Kanye West put out like plain white t-shirts for like $200. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a digression, but that's unnecessary. That's just like weird price gouging. But like you brought up or I guess we brought up shoes before, and I think that's the one article of clothing that is really maybe ubiquitous in its fandom between all spectrums of gender. Like high fashion shoes for women and men are both a thing. And I think that a lot of men now, and even in the 90s, really got into shoes via the Jordans or sneakers. Definitely. And like that's the high-end luxury brand as those new Nike kicks, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people buy those Air Jordans or those Nikes or those Adidas specifically because they're the brand Nike or Adidas now than they did it earlier.
You think it's like a status thing? Like to own that?
I think so.
Yeah. Like I can own
like
these.
It's a display of, like James brought up, it is sometimes a display of wealth or a display of character in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And also not it's definitely that, but also like what clique you're into. Like, for instance, Kale, MIA, I know he had a pair of Doc Martens. Yeah. That's why I said MIA. I don't want people to think he was dead.
No, he's dead.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I just assume people are dead until I see them again. Makes my life a lot easier.
Exactly. Just like the dog's mentality.
Yeah. But I know Kale had like a pair of Doc Martens.
Yep.
And like, that kind of tells you what kind of group he was in. Like, so
those red laces, shaved head. You could tell immediately what kind of group he was in.
Yeah, I think we tend to do that. Especially when we're younger, we focus more to brands like what kind of group that you want to be in or want to fit into, and you kind of go with
how you identify.
Yeah, exactly. And that's pretty much my childhood. I buy stuff that was in because I wanted to fit in with people, and more so now I do it for the quality of if I like it and the quality. I see more of the quality and how it's going to last. And now that we have to actually work for our money and buy things with our own money instead of it given to us like we were children, it's a different feeling, definitely.
So I think that's a really interesting point that was brought up of like wearing band shirts and being in that community, because that's like all of us, everyone in our friend group, that's how we dress, is band shirts, jeans, and shoes. And I wonder like how that was ingrained within our friend group and why all 8 or 10 of us decided to dress exactly the same. Because like for me, it wasn't a status, but going back to the previous idea of like, this is what I like. I really enjoyed these people, so I supported them by buying a clothing that I hope interests somebody else in getting in on listening to that music or whatever.
Yeah,
exactly. So like, it's your clothing is one of the major ways you can individualize yourself, right? And say like, well, this is who I am, just from a first glance. And it's funny because by trying to individualize yourself, like, no, I don't look like them, or I'm not into that, this is what I'm into, then you also find the other people that are just like you, and then you essentially are no longer an individual. You are now just
conformity and non-conformity.
What's the word? Yeah, you're conforming, exactly.
Yeah.
the whole punk aesthetic of, non-conforming, but then you're conforming into that punk aesthetic.
Right.
So it's all a lie. Nothing matters.
No, it's all tip, James.
No one's original. Everything's been done before.
Copy paste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Gen Z is having such a great time of being able to really cross over what they can wear. Because like this isn't in the outline, but this is kind of the thesis for the show is like, I don't really understand why men's fashion is so incredibly limited.
Mm-hmm.
Men, and again, this is not to be comparative for what women have, but men's fashion is mostly you have a t-shirt or you have a nice button up or you have a nice formal suit and a pair of pants. And that's about it.
Yeah.
Maybe shorts, but like we don't get dresses. We don't get like looser fitting clothes that kind of drape around us because that style is not, I guess, conforming to social norms when we grew up.
What I'm getting from this is Corey wants to bring back the cloak.
Let's bring it back. Dude, I started with the poncho. I would never go back. I legitimately, I love my poncho. I wear it around my house. It is the best thing in the world.
I'm trying to think. You think that for men, why our clothes are so tight is to show the definition in our body and make us look more masculine and macho in that way? I wonder.
I think that's more just how you choose to dress.
Hmm.
Because like I wear loose clothes because I'm fat. And tight fitting clothes make me feel weird because I still have boobies from high school.
Hey.
What, you want to see them?
Oh. I don't
also
like,
remember,
no,
I'm good.
Yeah, I don't.
I already heard about your tube top.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. But I mean, baggy clothes were big when I was in high school too.
Jeans, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
But like what I guess what I'm saying is like I feel that men are really limited in the choices of clothes that we are presented to wear. And it's kind of harder to break those norms because like again, like we can't really wear dresses or skirts or different tops. Like and I'll go back to the wearing shorts thing. Like if you wear shorts like that people don't agree with, they'll call it out.
Too short, yeah.
And like they're like I like cargo shorts. If you don't at home, go fuck yourself. I don't care. They're great. They have so many pockets. I can carry so many shit for so much crap. Like they're made, but like in the online culture, it's like, oh, you're wearing those. You're either a dad or you're a loser. Like, don't wear cargo shorts. You're a man.
My
but
dad,
it's like, why? Like, why do you have some?
My dad did wear cargo shorts, but he rocked them. So
everybody rocks cargo shorts. It's easy to do,
right? So
I think that's why there's so much hate around them. But I guess, do you guys feel that? Do you feel that we're more refined in what we can feel comfortable wearing?
I get what you're saying. There's probably less options.
Like we can be like less expressive with what we wear. Corey, is that like you're trying to say?
I think so.
Yeah, I can.
I feel like that also might go to gender roles again, where women are more about going back to like more traditional gender roles, like you wanted to show off a woman's curves, right? So there's all these different things to accentuate that, where men is just like straight box, right? It's just like lines, ideally. But also men were more, men are typically the ones supposed to be the ones, bringing home the money, right? They were supposed to be the breadwinner. So like, business attire was a lot more generated towards men, where like, I feel like women's suits is only becoming more prevalent in the more recent times. Like, professional women were usually still in like dresses and stuff, which now is like, yeah, a nice dress can be worn anywhere, but I feel like a girl in a business or a woman in a business suit is like way more professional than a dress.
Yeah.
Where that wasn't a thing as probably as long ago. Again, this is not my realm. Maybe completely wrong on this.
Well, we can look back at some historical context where women weren't allowed to wear pants in this country until like the 60s without fear of retaliation from people. Yeah, it like women are very restricted in the clothes that they were allowed to wear. So like that's why this isn't a comparative conversation. But like we can go directly from women are allowed to wear pants in public to now women are expected to not dress as the formal secretary, but dress as a formal masculine identity in the workplace within the 80s. That's when we saw those pantsuits and the shoulder pads,
Yeah.
the pantyhose and the nylons. You had to dress up to go to work, even though you had a white collar job. And it didn't make sense that you couldn't just wear like jeans and a t-shirt. Like, it's not going to affect your job performance if you're doing IT.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that.
Still can't wear jeans and a t-shirt to work.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Slacks and buttoned up all day, baby.
Ooh, the life. He's got the life.
Yeah. My man, my little man grew up. Speaking of, how long do you think is the appropriate amount of time to dress your kids? Like, is there a time like when they're 5, you just say, you know what, they want to wear rain boots and a jacket and some like shorts, go for it. I don't care. Or do you like, I don't know, because we're talking about autonomy and control and self-expression. So like, how long do you control that for another human?
Shit, that's a good question.
So as far as letting them have a say in what they get to wear, I think as soon as they start showing an interest, like, let them. But also, you know, like, if they're going to be going to school, or, you know, they're going to be going to like playing outside a lot and they're going to be wearing big clunky rain boots, like, I get you want to wear those, but I don't want you falling down and, you know, covering you in Band-Aids all day. So you get their little practicality level to it. But like, I remember when I worked, I used to teach music at a grade school, and there was this one kid, first grader, every day, nice pants, button-up shirt, had a little fedora on.
Aww.
Like, this dude dressed to the nines every day. And it's like, that's how he wanted to be.
Really?
Like, it wasn't his parents, it was him. He was like, nah, that's just who I'm going to be.
Wow,
inspiring.
Did he have like little hairs growing out from his
little
chin?
peach fuzz?
No.
The youngest kid in grade school with a mustache,
right? Oh, was this James?
Little baby James? Yeah, he's talking about it in the third person.
Yeah.
I still can't grow a full mustache. It was definitely not me.
I love that. I think it should be encouraged for them to be able to choose whenever they spark that interest. It brings out the creative side. I think we should be there as a guide.
Yeah.
Like, if it gets like too out of hand, you can be like, no, that's maybe not a good idea, but I appreciate your curiosity and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think we should be more loosely letting kids try to pick out clothing, like even in stores, like picking clothes that they want to wear.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't really, I don't really remember doing that a whole lot when I was a kid. I didn't really get to choose my clothes, but I also went to, I had to wear like school uniforms until I was like 14. So whatever. Well, Tyler, you know, the morning's coming up soon, and I know you got to go help your youngins pick out some clothes. But while you're doing that, we're going to pick out some ads for our customers. And here they are.
Hey there, this is Corey from the Weekly Tall Talk podcast. If you like what you've been hearing, please consider going to Patreon patreon.com/TallTaleNetwork and becoming one of our patrons. We'd really appreciate it, and you'd help us get out some content later this year. Thanks.
Hey, Tyler, you finished picking out those clothes yet?
Yeah.
Or did they do it themselves?
How do you like? Does it fit me well? How do I look?
Oh, yeah, man. No, it's a nice fit. It's a nice fit.
Oh, thanks.
You fit into Stevie's little shoes perfectly.
Oh man.
I'm just surprised you try on their clothes for him before you lay them out.
Hey man, someone's got to do it.
Well, we got another kind of hard-hitting question for you guys. And I hope we don't offend anyone. Let's find out if we do. The question that I have for you guys on this is, do you guys think that it's possible to appropriate culture just by wearing somebody's clothing? Like, is it wrong to wear more traditional things? And one of the examples that I wanted to bring up was wearing a yarmulke as a Gentile. Like, it doesn't make sense for me, a non-practicing religious person or Jew, to wear a yarmulke. However, when going to special functions like a funeral or a bar mitzvah, it is considered respectful to wear one, even as a Gentile, from what I understand, because I was given one twice. Okay. Is that like, but it's not cultural. Is it cultural appropriation because I was in the space?
Right. Yeah. So like,
or would it be cultural appropriation if I left that space and continued to wear a yarmulke?
Yeah. Like if you're just to go in public or just be at home doing like everyday things.
Right.
Huh. That's pretty deep.
So is cultural appropriation a thing?
I recently did a trip to Africa, and they had this cool little African print, almost like a dashiki thing for kids. And I was thinking about getting it for my friend's kid. And then I thought twice, like, could he wear that?
Right.
Is that okay? And I ended up getting him something else that required less brain power for me to think about. But then it was one of those things like, should I even have wondered about that? I don't know.
Right.
Because ultimately, I don't know if it's up for me to make that decision if it's okay, because that's not my culture.
True. But then again, they're putting them out for sale for the general public. So I would have to assume that they're doing it to encourage you to wear that style of dress. Because like, it'd be weird, right? If you went and then you bought it and then you like wore it and then everyone around you was like, what the fuck are you doing? Get out of here, honky.
They're setting you up.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got
all
it
the
on.
staff's like, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
Exactly.
Huh.
But yeah, I've seen a lot of those videos of like, I don't know, TikTokers or whatever, of them going around like a college campus as like wearing a sombrero. And a poncho, saying like, going up to people, a bunch of usually white people, asking like, does this offend you? And they say yes. And then they go to like Alvera Street or something like that, and they go up to people and like, does this offend you? They're like, no, I love this.
Yeah, because it's a celebration of the culture.
I think it kind of depends on how you present it. Like if you're going out deliberately to make fun of it, I think it's just going to piss people off right away.
Right.
But if you kind of explain to people like why you're making this decision and why you're wearing this piece of clothing and the story behind it, that you really appreciate it, maybe they'd be more understanding.
Sure, but then you have to explain to every damn person you meet, like, no, like I just really appreciate the Jews.
Yeah.
Right. And again, it might come down to where it's at, because you see a white guy on a college campus wearing a sombrero and a poncho, and you think, oh, he's some frat dude being stupid.
Yeah.
Then you immediately kind of have like, oh, that's probably not with the best intentions. But then you see him surrounded by Mexican culture, and you're thinking, well, maybe it puts it in a different mindset,
right?
Maybe
Different context.
Yeah.
Right.
And I brought up the fact that I wear my poncho all the time. For those of you who don't know me, I'm half Mexican, but I am very white passing. You would not know that I'm even vaguely Latino. And I come to a battle with my own self of how much I can lean into the culture the Latino culture or more historical garments. Like like I said, I fucking love wearing my poncho, but I hesitate to go outside in it. One, because we're in the United States, and two, because of how white passing I am. And I don't know, it's just something that's always in the back of my mind because I'm not appropriating the culture. I am a Latino man.
Yeah.
But then, like, at the same time, like Tyler said, like, do I have to justify it? Are people going to secretly judge me because, like, a poncho's super cozy in hot weather? I don't know.
Yeah. I think that could go with this is not clothing, but speaking a language, maybe, Corey, since you said you're white passing, like people seeing you speak Spanish, they'd be kind of thrown off. But
okay.
There it is. That's all you need.
That's true. That's the one word. That's it. That's all you need to know in Spanish.
Yes.
So let's kind of go into, because we're talking about more, I guess, outside of my example of the yarmulke, like religious wear is maybe one of those things that you would be considered appropriating. And where I go with that is like Native American headdresses. It's really irresponsible to wear those as anything other than Native American.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of doing, from what I understand, a disservice to the Native Americans because of how sacred that form of clothing is.
How many just Native Americans do you see walking around the mall
True.
or wherever people gather these days wearing their full ceremonial headdress? Right. That's not something they just wear out. And if you're wearing it out, then I could see how that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is there's a time and a place?
Maybe that's
right.
It. Yeah.
Probably, at least for things like that, especially with things that have more of a religious connotation to them.
Yeah.
More sacred.
I could spiritual.
I could see that. Yeah.
Like it'd be weird if we wore like the Pope's hat in public.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're in the band Ghost.
True.
But yeah, like the yarmulke thing, like if you see someone wearing a yarmulke, that should denote that they are of the Jewish faith. Mm-hmm. And if they're not, that's a little, I don't know, that's weird. I mean, I don't wear a yarmulke unless I'm going to temple, which I haven't been in 15 years.
I was going to say it's been a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Since your younger brother's bar mitzvah 15, 16 years ago?
Yeah. I think there's been a couple funerals since then.
Okay.
Maybe a couple high holidays I was dragged to, but yeah, I don't wear my my talit and my yarmulke out, just around. Mm-hmm. And if I saw someone wearing theirs, I would assume they were of the Jewish faith.
But what if you asked and they weren't?
But would I be offended? No. But I'm also not the most Jewish person in the world.
Right.
I look at more as a cultural upbringing than I do as a practicing faith that I really go through on a day-to-day basis. Whereas there's definitely some people that I know that would be offended if they were wearing that, or if they ran into that same situation. And at the same time, while I wouldn't be offended, I have no problem. I can't say that I wouldn't understand why they might be.
True. So maybe appropriation as far as articles of clothing really just does go into context and where you are and how you're celebrating that type of attire.
Again, I think that gets a lot more touchy because it is something that's religious.
Right.
And people get a lot more touchy over religion. Like, whereas, say, a kilt, obviously, like, there's kilts that have family colors on it and your tradition like that. But, I've seen, they have those men's work kilts and stuff like that have like a tool belt on it that are meant for like, have you not seen those? Yeah, they're awesome.
That's cool.
They're like high durability. I've seen a couple people wearing them, and that no Scottish upbringing here, but I don't hear a lot of people complaining about that.
Yeah.
Usually probably because it's not contained within their religion or something like that.
Right. It is more of a cultural thing. It is more of like this is family lineage rather than this is a spiritual belief.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird. Like in all of our talks, like clothing is has many layers to it, if you will. No, but like it's weird because like there's so much context, historical, cultural, and assigning gender roles to clothing. Like it's just a very bizarre conversation to have, I think.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Because like who was that David Bowie protege that used to have what was like the 17th century big frilly neck thing?
I'm not sure.
But
Like Liberace?
anyway, there's been yeah, well, the ones that like stick out like a circle, you know what I'm talking
It
about?
was like
The huge,
maybe not a coif. I don't know what it's called, but the thing that goes around your neck and it's a big puffy lace piece of shit.
yeah, almost looks like you're wearing like a coffee filter
Yeah.
around you. Like he used to wear that, and I don't think that's appropriation of anything. That's just a style of fashion that was popular in the history of a certain area, but doesn't have any kind of religious or maybe even cultural connotations anymore because it's so far gone.
Mm-hmm.
So something like that, I can't see people really having a problem with.
Yeah. Well, and that was like, to bring up like that time in history, like men's shoes were all high-heeled shoes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right.
And now, unless you're Tom Cruise, like you're not allowed to, as a man, wear high-heeled shoes unless they are specifically Chelsea shoes, which come with heels. I think like one or two other.
Right.
But like men's boots were made with heels for riding horses.
Yeah.
Because they fit in stirrups well. Like that's why, from what I understand, that's why the heel was invented. But now we don't have horses. We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about presenting a height as a standard. So we just wear flat shoes. Wow. But women wear heeled shoes more than men now. And like it's become an engendered idea, at least within the United States, of men don't wear high heels.
It's for the... Yeah, what is the point they made heels for women if there is no use for it?
It accentuates the buttocks.
That's true.
By
is it really?
raising it's
I didn't know that.
yeah. I'm pretty sure the way it makes women stand, it accentuates their curves.
Yeah, with high heels especially.
That's like a lot of women's clothing is designed to be attractive to the male, which is where a lot of this is kind of coming from. The whole
corsets
are back and forth here.
Yeah. Out of all of our fashion choices, what do you think attracts people most to shoes? We kind of got here naturally, but like, what is it
shoes,
about shoes?
It seems most with anything like shoes, it's like the top one.
They're a status symbol, to be sure. They can definitely denote wealth, but also like they're things made to be destroyed by you in the ground over like a year's period,
unless you're a collector. But,
right. And if you're a collector, then you're only wearing those sneakers or those nice fancy leather boots like once or twice.
Yeah.
And then they're a collector's item.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of transition into a different, just a different item, a different thing, a different way to look at that item.
So definitely that. Also for me, it's because I have shoes are what I have the least amount of. Like I have way more pants and I have way more shirts than I have shoes.
You only have 2 pairs of pants though.
And I only have 1 pair of shoes. So I'm going to be a little bit more picky and spend a little bit more money on my shoes. Whereas my pants, a pair of jeans are jeans. I'm going to get whatever.
You're not buying those like $300 Lucky Brand?
I might, maybe spring on some Lee, maybe some Wranglers.
Yeah.
But I'm not going that high.
I don't know. Maybe, do you think maybe because shoes can be more customizable than clothing? But in a way, no. I don't know.
Possibly, but it's not even like clothing you can donate to Goodwill and or not Goodwill, but charities.
Yeah.
Shoes, not so much. Like you can still donate shoes, but I don't see like Air Jordans, going out on the Salvation Army line.
Right.
Like people put value into those
like
shoes
treasure.
and they keep them for as long as possible. And I just wonder what it is about them in particular outside of a shirt, or maybe dresses have holdover. I know like wedding dresses specifically have holdovers, but
if somebody wears, some really nice Nikes or sneakers, you can tell they're maybe into hip hop or they like to play basketball or some sort of other kind of sporting thing. Whereas, if you're into Doc Martens, maybe you're a little more outdoorsy or work with your hands or into heavier styles of music.
Blue collar.
Yeah. If you're Converse, maybe you're a little more punky, a little more rock. Same with Vans, you're more into the emo.
Do you feel like you can distinguish what a person belongs to by their shoes more than, say, clothing?
Maybe not more, but it definitely falls into that same category, I would say.
Yeah.
But there's definitely become a whole culture of, sneakerheads that collect sneakers. We really need Xavier on for this one.
What?
Dude, I mean, Xavier and the fact that fucking Kale passed away, he was like, they were going to be the perfect example of this. They both buy shoes all the time.
Yeah. I remember Xavier was the first person I spoke to that really collected sneakers. And I remember being at his house one time and he brought out a toothbrush and started cleaning the bottom of the soles and picking out the rocks. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, keeping my sneakers clean, man.
Is Xavier more into shoes than Kale?
Yes.
That's crazy.
I would say so.
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know if he still is, probably, but I remember he used to collect the P-Rod sneakers. They were skateboarding Nikes. They were low cut, and he would be on their website trying to pre-order certain ones. He had these. Yeah, he was really into it.
Yeah, and
keeping them nice and clean.
He's definitely still into it. But that whole sneakerhead culture too. Look at how many places that just brick and mortar businesses have spawned into buying Nikes and Adidas and then selling them at 5 times the value because of their scarcity. People make thousands of dollars reselling shoes that just came out.
Right. And I will 100% be pre-ordering those corn Adidas when they come out.
I knew it.
In October. Yep. Marking my calendar.
It's all in the brand.
I really hope that you grow up the Jonathan Davis dreadlocks too.
Back to the cultural appropriation. When I had long hair, I always wanted to do the dreadlocks.
Yeah.
But I always felt like I don't think I can. Also, I can count on one hand the amount of white people I've seen dreadlocks on that I'm like, yeah, you don't look like a dirty meth head.
And they were an Avatar.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I don't know, just some about dreadlocks on people with my skin tone. Just
Do you
think you could do it?
Don't look right to me.
You could do dreads or attempt?
Hell no. No, dog. No,
never.
No. You? I could see you rocking dreads. No. I'm sorry. I could see you rocking cornrows.
I did those once.
Did you really?
How did that end? Though?
I see that.
I did cornrows once.
Those seem painful. It seems so tight to the scalp, and I don't know how
it is. It was painful pulling in, and it was painful pulling out.
Well, speaking about pulling out, we're gonna have to pull out from this episode, guys. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Of course.
I'm so happy that we were able to have this discussion. If we offended you, let us know why. Really, we weren't here to do that. We were just here to have a discussion. We're just asking questions.
Yes.
Like the question I'm about to ask now. Tyler, if we're going to find you on social media, how are we going to find you, dude?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Tilo43. I'll post just random stuff on my life. Occasionally. Now let me tell
sometimes,
you both, and whoever's
once in a
listening
while.
out there, occasionally.
Right. Yeah.
When I'm not working.
Yeah, when.
Which is all the time.
80-hour days.
Yes. I stream on a platform. You might have heard of it called Twitch.
Yeah.
My name on there is Sushi Moose. It's one word.
How would that
it's
go?
Pretty simple. Sushi and moose. Not the word and. Sushi Moose.
Spell it out for us so I can cut it later.
SUSHIM.
Favorite part of every episode, I swear to God.
Just get a dictionary. No.
That's fair.
We also have a Patreon under Tall Tale Network where you can subscribe to us and help us out a little bit for our show. We'd really appreciate it. We love the interactions, subscribers. If you'd like to find us there, go to patreon.com/Tall Tale Network. We also have a Discord, which you can follow by becoming a patron. So check that out. We'd love your support. All right, Corey. You've heard my socials. You know where you can find me. But where can we find you?
Well, if you want to find me, my only social media is Instagram. You can find me there at Corey.Andre, Corey.Ondrey. We also have a Weekly Tall Talk Instagram and a Weekly Tall Talk TikTok. So if you're interested in hearing or seeing some sketches from us, we got some stuff coming out pretty soon that we're very excited to share. So be sure to like and subscribe, follow, do all that shit. And Jimmy, I know you don't have any socials, but what plugs are you going to give us today?
Well, if you got any questions, want some answers, you have any sort of ideas you want us to kick around, maybe something for the show, you can always hit us up at talltailnetwork@gmail.com, and we'll tall tale you later.